beside me, and she's got a most interesting background. And I asked her, oh gosh, probably a year ago, if she would talk about her family. And she was graciously agreed to do it today. She's got technology, she told me, so everything is going to be verbal. And she said, if you will display it there, but I hope you will all find it as interesting as I do. Gabby? Gabby Slater is all yours.
Oh, thanks. Good to see everybody here. Okay. Bienvenue. ¿Cómo se va? How are you? Welcome, everybody. This presentation will be on my great-grandfather, Alexis Godey. How many have heard of him? Now, I'd like to introduce, I am the great-granddaughter of Alexis Godey, my son, the great-great-grandson of Alexis Godey, my grandson, the great-great-great-grandson of Alexis Godey. And I believe we have some more Godey family here. Oh, my brother David. And please stand and introduce yourself, your face.
My name is Gloria Sanchez.
Okay. So, how I am related to Alexis Godey. Alexis Godey was married to Apollonia Manzanillo. Well, that marriage ended up in divorce, as did his other 5 marriages. And he had 8 mistresses that they were able to count. However, somewhere down the line, Alexis Godey and Apollonia hooked up. And that created my grandfather, Alex Godey Jr. Now, there are 2 Alex Godey Jr.'s. One died at the age of 19, I believe it was. And my grandfather married Nicolosa Francis Munoz. In the picture, the toddler is my mother, Lydia Godey. And the baby is Alexandria. Alexandria died at a toddler's age. My desire for searching for Godey started when I was young, and Mom always reminded me who I was and how I was related to Godey. Mom mentioned a memory she had of her father when she was younger, playing the squeeze box and singing in French to her. Also, Mom used to collect newspaper articles, and I would see those, and some of them I still have. So that's how I decided to go looking for my great-grandfather. Just to let you know, the information other than the lineage, I acquired through years of research, reading newspaper articles and anything I could get my hands on, and even the internet, okay? Alex Godey, there have been many articles written as to when he was born, but on that board, if you look at it, I have an actual fact. He was born January 28, 1819, in Fort de Chartres, Randolph, Illinois, USA. When you look at the fort over there, you'll see a picture of the fort where he was born, okay? And I'll present his lineage later. Prior to Godey hooking up with Fremont, 72 years prior, he was out and about hunting, trapping, and scouting. It was until 1843 when Godey met Colonel Fremont, while Fremont was on his 2nd expedition. He was described by Charles Frias, a topographer with Fremont's expedition, as a young French Canadian who could neither read nor write and did not enjoy the spreadings of his activities. So he never did write down any journals or anything on himself. In 1844, Fremont, Kit Carson, and Alexis Godey did a winter crossing. This was in the Sierra Nevadas. This was during the time when the snows were just extremely cold, and a lot of people didn't make it. Now, Godey helped bring through those mountains, ice-covered mountains, the survivors of that expedition. Also, Alex Godey is also known as Alexis Godey, Alejandro Godey, Alejandro Godoy, and some other names that you go through. Due to the frequent spelling variations, it ended up becoming Godey, and I'll explain that down the line how we got to Godey. The name Godey is actually a nickname. It comes from an ancestor from a village named Le Cordaire, which ended up being translated Godey. Now, Emery came from a place in France, Dordogne, France. And I have a little map on that for you to take a look at that. And Godey's name derived from that town. Fremont assigned Godey to survey watersheds of rivers running from the Rockies. During the Mexican-American War, Godey served for the U.S., reaching the rank of lieutenant under the unit of Captain Richard Owens. Godey was captured at San Pascual in San Diego. That was under General Andres Beale. Has anybody heard of him? Beale and Carson were sent to retrieve Godey, which they did. They eventually retrieved him. Godey in his young years would actually be and sit down with the natives of the time, the Indians, for lack of a better term. And he would often paint himself up and dance all through the night with the Indians. And Godey loved riding bareback, bare body. And they here to demonstrate. Going back to 1848, Fremont's fourth expedition, which was to find a southern route to California. The guy lost his way in the High Sierra. The mules perished. Out of 34 men, 11 died. The rest were saved by Godey. Oh, by the way, his name is actually Godey. Okay, but we call him Godey. The snow was deep, and supplies were gone. Godey found some of them insane and subsisting on the bodies of the dead. That's how rough that terrain was, how cold. Godey at this time was at the age of 29. In 1849, Godey discovered the gold flakes prospecting Rancho's waterways. Gold was plentiful, and Fremont staked the claim. It later became known as the Mariposa Mine. In 1852, Godey operated a ferry in Firehawk, which is around Fresno. He also managed a motel. I think it was San Baptiste Motel. 1853, Godey, now at the age of 34, was in Fort Creeks, which is around Visalia. He was engaged by Lieutenant Williamson of the Pacific Railroad, and he was to guide him to Walker Pass through the southern Sierra Nevadas. Also during this time, Godey was employed by the Indian Service, awaiting Beale to come in and take over. Godey, in 1854, Godey was a scout for Kit Carson on his last visit to Kern County. In 1856, Godey located his ranch in Yama next to San Diego Ranch. They lost it in the forecast. 1856. Margaret? Bear with me. One more, Kitty. Do you mind? Now, I want each one of you to write the name Fremont. Okay? Good job. So everybody knows that they wrote the name Fremont, correct? Well, in 1856 was the presidential election. Now, unless it's Godey being head over the natives, the Indians, for lack of a better term, got them to sign all their votes for Fremont, knowing that it could be Buchanan. Well, because of the fact Godey really could not read or could not write, and trusting somebody else, when they counted the votes, even Godey's, it all went to Buchanan. Including Alexis Godey's vote.
Yes, sending to the House of Representatives.
In the 1860s, Godey served in the Civil War, the Union side, Company F, 50th Infantry. In 1863, Godey, about 44 years old, was a rancher at their home. Anybody tell me what the word cajon means? Badger. Very good, yes, the Spanish word for badger. Evidently, there was lots of little critters around their home. Cajon, badger. In 1871, well, you know, until you go back to 1868, there's an interesting thing. Godey knew someone in charge for the Indians to do the work. Well, when he would leave, it was slack. Okay? So he had a foreman that had a glass up. So when Godey left, he told the foreman, take out your eye and set it on the rock. Watching. So when Godey came back, the Indian said, haven't put it back, we promised we'll go to work. And he never had a problem after that. That was known as the eagle eye. In 1883, Godey moved to Bakersfield and located on 19th Street, what later became known as the Godey Tract. Godey was about 64 years old at this time. And when you walk through and see, I have a picture of the Godey Tract over here. Godey, in 1886, Godey was one of the pallbearers for Mr. Beale. Also, in 1882 and 1883, Godey built the Well House for Mr. Well and his wife. It was a wedding present. Now, Mr. Well, of Well's department store, have you heard of Mr. Well? He was a well-known person in the Jewish community. He was a leader of the Jewish community. In 1889, January 22nd, is the death of Alexis Godey. He went to a circus that was here in town, and he was scratched by a lion. And being a man, he ignored it for a couple of days. Well, it became infected. And it was until 3 days afterwards he went to a hospital in Los Angeles, where he passed away. The body was brought back by William Skinner and Mr. Valencia. And I want to read from the pages. There's actually 5 children right down there too. The death of Alexis Godey. This is my favorite. Out of everything I've read, this is my favorite. This is from the Kern County, California, the county official paper, Saturday, January 26, 1889. The death of Alexis Godey, one of the most noted of the pioneers of the far west in California, gone to join the majority. Alexis Godey, one of the most trusted and efficient guides of General Fremont. On the 2nd and 3rd of his exploring expeditions, under the auspices of the government and his subsequent private ones, died at Sisters Hospital in Los Angeles on the 19th. He had been there only 3 days, having gone to be treated by a physician he had long known. For 2 years or more, he had been gradually declining in health and strength, and his remarkable memory and strong intellect failing. The remains are brought here for interment and placed in a plot he has chosen several years before. The solemn and impressive services of that form of the Christian faith were conducted by the Reverend Father Daddy. There was a large attendance of friends of the deceased and of those attracted by this national fame. The body was escorted to the grave by an armed detachment of the GAR of this place, and followed by a long procession of carriages. Can you believe that? Carriages? Not cars, but carriages. The pallbearers were of his veteran comrades in the Mexican War, as follows: J.C. Reed, W.H. Morrow, C. Williams, J.F. Jameson, R. Hudman, and J.F. Rowe. A salute was fired over the grave and military escort. The rites were performed. A gentleman also of national reputation who had known him well for 26 years told the writer about a year ago that he was satisfied with his age. They thought him to be at least in his 90s, all that he had done and accomplished. And what he then heard of him so excited his youthful imagination that he diligently inquired into all the facts that were known respecting his life and adventures. He was then a celebrated hunter and Indian trader, well known from the outskirts of civilization to the Rocky Mountains and the British possessions, to the borders of the interior states of Mexico. His renown as remarkable and great man extended over all that vast region, 6 times as large as France, and such a reputation. His travels on the Pacific Slope, consequent upon these expeditions, and the exciting times of gold mining seem to have revived him, lighting for California, and having arrived at the age when a life of adventure becomes distasteful. In other words, I think Godey had enough at this time. And he had sailed the Tejon Ranch to the San Emilio, and finding at this place where he had a comfortable home. Like Carson, he was strictly honest, honorable, and truthful, and in all respects a gentleman in the true sense of the word. Godey and Carson were the best type of the men who pioneered the Great West. Reliable will never be seen again within our national limits, because the conditions which developed them are no more. New facts that are strange in all adventures may be presented later. Once again, this is in the Kern County, California, Saturday, January 26, 1889. After his death, Conrad Burnett, on behalf of the admin of the late Alex Godey, and this was to the GAR, the Grand Army of the Republic, and in compliance with the will of Sid Godey, presents to Kroger Post 4 flags, one of which had been presented to Sid Godey by General Sherman's daughter. The other 3 flags had been presented to Sid Godey at different times by parties at the present unknown. So those that are familiar with Godey, can you tell me that perhaps were there going to be a monument or something that was named after him? Anybody have any ideas?
Anyone down there by the park?
Central Park.
Now, which part was that?
Historical Society.
Mill Creek.
Mill Creek. Now, the last time I had checked, the rated birds on the plaque had been removed. So I don't know if they've been replaced or not. There is a Godey Road in Shafter. And there's a Godey Gap, which is 32 miles north of Pyramid Lake. And then again, a historical marker. Now, when I was younger, I heard tell of a Godey cave, where people would get together and communicate. But I couldn't tell you to this day where that cave is. I mean, not that. So, where did this man come from? What's his lineage? How long? Can I get somebody else to help her pass out? Well, not pass out. This is your copy to keep of the lineage. 7th generation. Because to try to explain it on a board or something, I got confused.
Can you pass it down? Pass it down, give another look. Pass it around.
No. Do we have one more, please? Oh, okay, no. Thank you, though.
Everybody copy? Now, I want you to collect the dollar from everybody. Now, just an FYI, like I said, all the information other than the lineage is acquired through newspapers and articles and stuff. The lineage, I don't know, and I'm not going to go crowns and say, I don't know what. So I hired a professional team of genealogists from Ancestry.com, and it took them between 3 and 4 months to gather information for me to get it back. Okay? So, my second great-grandparents, Jean Marie Godey, that is the father of Alex Godey. His mother was Celeste Delcourt. They basically met and stayed in Fort de Chartreuse, which you will see in there. My third great, Renee Jr., who married who was deceased, Germain. My fourth grade, Renee Godey Sr. married to Catherine Campbell. My fifth grade, if you notice the name, Francois Henry Itcoder. Itcoder means to say as. So that after that point is when the Godey or Godey name came into being. And he had married Agnes Richard, and they had a daughter, Francois and Agnes, Mary and Hugh. Now, Mary and Hugh's father, Pierre Hugh, married Elizabeth Solidus, and yes, I left that one. She was an Indian woman of the Miami tribe. They had met at Fort Quantinon. Now, Pierre Hugh. Is anybody vaguely familiar with Pierre Hugh? Pierre Hugh, the father of Marie Anne Hugh, was known as Pierre Hugh de la Pierre. The name de la Forest means to go off to explore. Pierre was an explorer and merchant. He also dealt in fur trading, and he was appointed by the Covias adjacent at Montreal. Pierre Hugh accompanied LaSalle in his explorations. You familiar with LaSalle? LaSalle was a French explorer. He sailed the Mississippi River, and he claimed surrounding lands for France. He created the Louisiana Territory, and he named it after King Louis. And that Pierre Hugh de Beauvais ran 2 fur trading factories, Junction of St. Lawrence and Ottawa Rivers. So I wonder where my great-grandfather got all this from. Hey, in the DNA. Don't they sound similar to what they were doing, exploring and trading? Now, I'm going to go to the return. My second great grandparent, Celeste Ford, whose husband, as I previously mentioned, was Jean Marie Godey. They too were at Fort Detritus. The maternal line of Alexis Godey. Celeste's father was Joseph Villefort Jr., who married Mary Ann Tybalt. Next on the 4th grade is Joseph Villefort Sr., who married Marie Josette, which by the way, my own name is Marie. 5th grade is Francois Gabriel Tybalt, who married Marie Evelyn Pauline. Those were from Canada, from Quebec. My 6th grade, Nicolas Tybalt, married Francois Boucher, and continues on down to the Desnoyers. Most of the next one, the 6th grade also, Pierre Rochette, is part of the Desnoyers, and they were settled in Quebec. So if you look at it, they came from France into Quebec, and then came down to settle into Illinois. Several went through Indiana, but ended up in Illinois. There was about, what I counted, 7 or 8 French forts that they could have stopped at. I would like to thank the following people for giving me information. John Lodge, Richard Andrews. Shirley Jackson is in the ditch where no longer with us. And that will conclude it.